Well, folks, yesterday, Donald Trump's lawyers had their hearing, along with the prosecutors, of course, in front of Judge Tanya Chutkan, where Trump's lawyers went in and told the judge, hey, listen, Judge, we really need until April of 2026 before we're going to be ready for trial. And Judge Chutkan said, listen, I'm not unreasonable. I understand you can't be ready for trial tomorrow. But there's no reason on God's green earth why I should give you 2 years to prep for this thing. And Trump's lawyers came back and said, listen, Judge, we want 2 years because the prosecution had 2 years to put together their case to make the indictment. So we get just as long as they get. Judge Chutkan then made the point to tell them, like, listen, okay, first of all, no, like that's not even a possibility. But let's not pretend like this is back in the olden days where you had to go through documents by hand with a highlighter and a pen. She goes, you've got programs now that can do that. And they can actually make very short work of it. And yes, again, having worked in a law firm for nearly 20 years, she's right. Those things exist. Very efficient, very effective. And so ultimately, after a very heated back and forth, by the way, Trump's lawyer, John Lauro, was getting very animated, according to reports, started yelling at one point. Judge Chutkan kept her cool the whole time, did not raise her voice. She did kind of have to scold him at one point, though, when he accused Special Prosecutor Jack Smith of violating his office, which is not a thing that happened. That's not even a thing that's really a thing. Like, that's something that lawyer just made up, and of course the judge kind of put him in his place for it. But then when all was said and done, and it was time to set the date, the judge said, you know what? March 4th. Not March 4th of 2026, not March 4th of 2025. The next March 4th on the calendar is when y'all are going to be walking into my courtroom, and we're going to get this trial started, folks. Now, of course, Republicans are pissed off, right? That's right before Super Tuesday. Matt Gaetz has already said, I'm going to censure her for this. Carrie Lake went on Steve Bannon's podcast and said, Americans now want a street fight, a fist fight, she said. So, weird reaction from a bunch of angry, belligerent Republicans. But nevertheless, Judge Chutkan could not be deterred and said, you will have plenty of time to prep. The prosecution wanted it on January 2nd. I'm not going to do January 2nd. You wanted it in April 2026, so let's meet not even close to the middle and do it on March 4th. I love it. Because Chutkan also brought up something that was very important during the back and forth with Trump's lawyer, John Lauro. Because Lauro was like, hey, listen, they've had 2 years to do this. We just got this, a couple days ago. And the judge was like, you haven't been doing anything through this whole time? Like, you've known they were working on this and you didn't bother to start a defense? Like, nothing? You just kind of sat around and did nothing, right? That kind of put Lauro back on his heels a little bit. He didn't quite know how to respond to that because the answer's like, well, I guess, yeah, we didn't do anything. But it is what it is. Donald Trump will end up having this trial delayed. In fact, the lawyer already promised us that. He's like, look, we got a lot of motions we're going to file. We got a lot of claims we're going to make. So they're going to do their best to push this as far away from March 4th as possible. To a degree, they'll be successful. I don't think this thing is going to start on March 4th. But based on how much of a, dare I say, badass Judge Chutkan is being, if it gets pushed back from March 4th, I guarantee you it's still going to happen in March. Maybe a week later, maybe 2 weeks later. But she's not going to put up with their crap. And that was the most important thing that was abundantly clear during yesterday's hearings. Ring of Fire has fresh content 7 days a week, so if you want to be reminded about it, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, hit the little bell to be notified every time a new video goes up.